Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Oh boy, you know, we've been saying for a long time that it seems like the left is imploding, but for the most part it's been more of a meme than actually happening. Well, maybe not so much anymore. Following Kamala Harris's devastating loss here, it really does feel like the left is falling apart, imploding if you will. And I'll tell you how I know it's getting real bad for them. Here's the sign. You know, usually these roundtable style talk shows need to get people with opposing viewpoints to come together to have a real dynamic discussion. For things to get interesting and for things to get heated, you need to bring someone from the left and someone from the right and have them duke it out. And well, you probably get where I'm going with this. The current, let's call it environment of the left right now, is so inwardly hostile that some of these shows are just pitting leftists against each other instead. Who needs to bring on the other side when you could just bring on a panel of leftists and they'll essentially eat their own? That's exactly what Piers Morgan did on his recent show, and holy moly, to use the leftist media's favorite word, did it get testy. Let me show you guys exactly what's happening. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so here's a photo of the panel. We've got Cenk Uygur, Alan Lichtman, Harry Sisson, and Fox News' Juan Williams sitting having a panel debate. A real all-star crew. Just take a look at this.
Don't blame the voters. I think, look, we could get into this discussion, but one, I think you're blaming the voters. I think that's a terrible idea. Look, I debated Professor Lichtman before. I told him his theories about the keys were absurd. I was right. He was wrong. I said he'd lose his keys.
No, you were
Couldn't
not
find
right,
him
and
before
I
the
was
election.
not wrong, and that's a cheap shot, and I won't stand for it.
Well, who won, brother?
You should not be
Who
taking
won?
cheap
Who
shots
won?
at me.
Who won?
You want to make your
You
point,
live
make your
in a
point.
total
Don't make it
world of
personal.
denial.
I read your own followers' comments, and they all trashed you, every one of them, and supported me.
Yeah,
so
right,
quiet with
right.
your personal
yeah,
attacks.
come find out again.
Make whatever
Okay.
point you want.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't
Look,
make it personal.
You don't know anything. You don't know
You
anything.
attacked me personally.
You're so deluded.
Oh, right. I've only been a professor for 51 years.
On this program,
published
I've never been
13
able
books.
to finish a
How
thought.
many books have you published? No, because you're personally attacking me again. Say whatever you want, but I'm not going to stand for
brother,
personal
you got
attacks.
it wrong.
Say
you were
whatever you want.
preposterously and stupidly wrong. So, okay, all right. Can I just
Don't
finish
call
a
me
goddamn thought
stupid.
ever on this show?
No, not if you're
Okay,
personally
well,
I
you proved
admitted
it.
I was wrong. I don't need you to call me stupid.
Okay.
Can I just say, it's
What kind
great
of
to see
nonsense
you
is that?
Democrats
Yeah, I
all
know.
getting
Who
along
taught
so
you
well.
manners?
It's lovely to
You
see a
need one. Can I
post-election
finish a
harmony as you all
goddamn
come
point?
together
We're
again.
just
Hey,
one
Alan,
right now.
shh. Hey, Alan, you deserve a tall glass of shut-up juice, so can you just shut up for a second and let someone who knows what
Not
they're doing
if you're
so
gonna
right,
personally
Piers.
attack
You're
me.
so right.
So-
We're so
Make
unified
any
right now.
point you
today.
want.
So-
I will not sit here and stand
So-
for personal attacks, for blasphemy against me. You don't need to do that. You don't boost your own
Blasphemy
ego
against you?
by
Who the hell are
attacking
you?
me
Are you
like that.
Jesus
Just
Christ,
make your
you
points.
loser? Okay, can I
points.
just give the correct answer for once?
Now, you probably see exactly what I was getting at in the intro. It's just pure entertainment. And that's what Piers Morgan does. He loves having interesting characters on his show who are going to drive the ratings, drive the clicks. And so, of course, if that's what you're looking for right now, well, the circus is in town, and it comes delivered in the form of a leftist clown car. I mean, wow, just wow. Cenk Uygur in all his brutish glory, absolutely going off on Mr. 13 Keys, Alan Lichtman, over his horrible election prediction. My precious 30 keys! Cenk Uygur just unleashes on him. And of course, this is what happens when a political movement starts to fracture. We're seeing the cracks here in real time. On one side, you've got people in complete denial, still clinging to all of their narratives. I wasn't wrong. It was all the disinformation is what Alan Lichtman's been running on. And on the other side, coming from Cenk Uygur of all people, you got others starting to see the writing on the wall. And one thing is absolutely clear, these two opposing leftist factions, it doesn't seem like they can coexist. Let's call it irreconcilable differences. You've got one side that's doing what a lot of us did, especially back in 2016, recoiling from the current image of the left, all the woke nonsense, the DEI nonsense, the hyperfixation on all the isms. We all saw the charts going up. We saw all this woke bullcrap being jammed into the mainstream and essentially said no. Well, the leftoids certainly couldn't do that. It felt almost as if overnight it became the image of their party. party. But now some people on the left are realizing, yeah, we can't do this. We can't do the woke nonsense. We certainly can't do all the fake news and narratives and copium. They're seeing the writing on the wall, the possible total collapse of the Democrat Party as we know it, and it seems like they're having the same reaction. You know, the TYT, or at least Cenk and Anna, seem to be following that path. I think they've realized that they're on the side that's living in a bubble, and Cenk Uygur, you know, the guy's an open book. He wears his emotion on his sleeve. And so now as he's experiencing these emotions, if you put him next to Alan Lichtman, who's spearheading this leftist copium, head in the sand nonsense, well, this is what you're gonna get, a Cenk Uygur blow up. He's not exactly great at expressing ideas. Instead of being able to articulate to Alan Lichtman that he's essentially an embarrassment, who bought in and pushed and promoted all of the left-wing delusions and lies and bogus narratives about the previous election, Cenk Uygur just goes, "You're stupid." So maybe Cenk Uygur's not the greatest messenger, but the emotion is still there, and I think it's representative. It's basically the simplest form of disagreement and protest. Cenk Uygur mad, and he smacks his fists on the table. He can't quite articulate it, but, you know, we get the sentiment. And he's certainly right. You know, we had the media for the last couple of months, but really for the last couple of years, doing nothing but lie and obfuscate the truth. The Democrat Party's electoral chances were going to hell in a handbasket, basically since the fall of Kabul and Afghanistan, and this entire time, as all the numbers kept cratering, as all the crises kept stacking, they kept painting this image that everything was just going swimmingly. Nothing to see here. Joe Biden's the most competent president we've ever had. We're the strongest we've ever been on the world stage ever. Joe Biden's now a wartime president. Wow, isn't he such a great leader? It's been nothing but gaslighting garbage, and that's exactly what Alan Lichtman was a part of and was doing going into election day. I got my 13 keys model. You know, the model might not even be the problem. The problem was Alan Lichtman, who, when analyzing Joe Biden's economy during his 13 keys, analyzing all the factors study, he probably gave Joe Biden glowing reviews. And so he skewed his model to essentially feed the narrative and confirm the left-wing bias. And that right there is what Cenk is pissed off at. Being lied to. Cenk Uygur essentially embodying the average Dave Pakman viewer that ditched that camp the moment Donald Trump pulled in every single swing state. Holy crap, these people have been lying to me forever. Maybe Joe Biden really does have dementia. I think it was probably the thoughts going through a lot of people's minds. And this right here, this glorious moment, is basically a metaphor for that larger concept. The left is fracturing. There's people who are seeing the writing on the wall and people who are still just patting baby powder on the establishment's little bum. Oh, Kamala Harris, it wasn't your fault. The country's just deeply misogynist and racist. You know, that kind of nonsense. The nonsense, the delusion that engages in this kind of behavior, just suffering a devastating 2024 election loss. But then when the question comes back to Democrat voters, who would you support running in 2028? 41% of Democrats respond, Kamala Harris, let's run it back. There's those deluded blue anons and the people who are seeing that this is a frickin' cult and they need to leave. And Cenk Uygur essentially just let out all of those feelings, sentiments, the emotions right in front of us for us to see with our very eyes. His emotional fluctuations essentially tell us all that we need to know. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.